Madden holiday is here and we will play all night. Calling sick and sound sincere, in tackles will delight. The fridge is packed with drink and meat, the taste of victory sure is sweet.
Well, that was an eventful week, wasn't it? I barely managed to go 4-1, with the only miss being the Houston-New England game. I didn't realize that the weather was going to be so bad and there would be a rain-snow mixture throughout the whole thing, and yeah, that obviously had a big effect, and it's also caused me to lose a lot of faith in Justin Fields. He's turning the ball over way too much. He doesn't seem to understand that sometimes it's okay to just take a sack or throw the ball away. He's trying to play hero ball, and, the Texans defense looks so good. Houston really should have won that game. They outplayed the Patriots, and yeah, again, done in by the constant mistakes by their own quarterback. And then, of course, there was the massive demolition of San Francisco by Seattle. I mean, that game was literally over after the opening kickoff, and not really much to say about that afterwards. And that, of course, brings us to the two overtime contests between Buffalo and Denver and the LA Rams and Chicago Bears. Both those games had some insanely exciting moments, as tends to happen a lot in the divisional round. That is where a lot of the bonkers playoff things really do happen. The Broncos and Bills went back and forth, and of course ultimately into overtime. And for the record, yes, that interception in overtime was an interception. Brandon Cooks, you have to get 2 feet down and then make a football move. And since Cook's football move entailed going to the ground, that meant he had to hold on to the ball all the way through. If McMillan had not been there and the ball had just, splurted out at the end, it still would have been an incomplete pass. So they got the call right. Although the funny thing is, a lot of the people who are complaining about it, especially in the NFL media, are complaining that there just wasn't a review. So what? It's like, if you agree with the call ultimately, why are you complaining whether or not there was a review? And there's something, they're going to bleed over the 49ers Seahawks game. They didn't want that to happen. They bleed over the games all the time. That's nothing new. And of course, I have to be remiss as to pointing out that Bo Nix is injured and he's out for the rest of the playoffs. And I think this is kind of unprecedented. Yeah, there have been guys who have been hurt going into the playoffs. Obviously, everyone's making the comparison to Carson Wentz or Jeff Hostetler with the Giants in 1990. Of course, Kurt Warner, but that was a preseason injury. The only ones I can really think of, the Steelers in 1976 played a divisional playoff game against the Colts. And in that one, I think Terry Bradshaw, Franco Harris, and Rocky Bleier all got injured. Bradshaw played the next week, though. So, yeah, again, that's a running back injury, or 2 running back injuries. And then, of course, the 1990 Los Angeles Raiders, and that was the Bo Jackson injury. But again, that's a running back, not a quarterback. So, yeah, maybe not the exact same comparison there. And, of course, the LA Rams taking on the Chicago Bears had all the high drama, with possibly the shortest Hail Mary in NFL history, sending the game into overtime. That game was a surprisingly strong defensive battle. I don't think there was really any scoring in the second or third quarters, was there? I mean, I think there was a couple field goals, but that was it. It was 10-10 at the end of the third, I think. Anyway, it went into overtime. The Bears looked like they might actually have the game in hand, and then Caleb Williams threw the interception, and the Rams subsequently got a field goal. I had picked the Rams to win, but it was still kind of a wild experience. I thought, the Bears had this wrapped up, and then they just didn't. So it was still a pretty wild experience. And then, of course, to wrap everything up, we had the national championship game come down to the wire on Monday night. Indiana led the whole game. The Miami Hurricanes made it close. Indiana ultimately sealing it with that interception very late. I think just ultimately the Hurricanes made too many mistakes at kind of the wrong time. The blocked punt, there were some really bad penalties. I think they only converted 4 third downs in the whole game. It's just those little things really did pile up and ultimately contributed to the Hoosiers' victory. So, again, it was an entertaining game at least. Kind of came down-ish to the wire. The interception happened with like 40 seconds left, so yeah, kind of. But still, interesting play calling. Miami proved themselves worthy. They hung close, so credit to them. Obviously, it didn't come through. So, still, it was nice to see Indiana win because, again, we never really seem to talk about Indiana ever being a powerhouse in football. Anyway, this week we're covering the NFL Conference Championship games, the AFC Championship between New England and Denver, and the NFC Championship between the LA Rams and Seattle. And then after we do those, we'll talk about the NFL coaching carousel and then wrap things up. Okay, let's get to these games.
The hottest videos are now only at Burger King. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. 4 never-before-released tapes for only $3.49 each.
Cool.
To get the hottest videos, sometimes you've got to break the rules.
Treat yourself.
Yes.
Nothing makes you feel as good as gold. From Ben Bridge Jeweler.
The delicious crunch of crackling oat bran has gotten you in trouble again. How do you defend yourself?
Did you eat all the crackling oat bran?
I don't have to answer that.
Did you eat all the crackling oat bran?
Well, you're the one holding the box.
Did you eat all the crackling oat bran?
What's crackling oat bran?
With the irresistibly sweet taste of Kellogg's crackling oat bran, an open box is an empty box.
On Ryan's Hope.
Go through that door. You're going to hide from Amy and wait for your father to come.
It's hide and seek, but it's no game.
Oh, dear God. Take care of my little one.
And on General Hospital.
I don't want to play games with you anymore.
Meaning what?
I've been thinking about taking off my wedding rings.
Do it. Do it, do it, do it.
Ryan's Hope General Hospital, Summer Love on ABC.
We're starting things off with the AFC Championship game between New England and Denver, and let's face it, the lack of Bo Nix is probably the biggest aspect of this game. Denver's defense should still be really strong. They're going to need to cause a lot of turnovers like they did against Buffalo the previous week. They're going to need to have a lot of sacks. I guess Denver's main offensive strategy, I know Jared Stidham is pretty well regarded in the clubhouse, but I think their main offensive strategy is just play very slow, very boring, eat the clock football, run the ball, really only throw if it's 100% necessary, and then maybe things might shake out a little bit. As for the Patriots, they need offensive consistency throughout the whole game. They won their games over the Chargers and Texans with big fourth quarters. I don't think they can just rely on that. I think they're going to have to play a complete game. Again, Denver's defense is better. Well, it's not better than the Texans' defense, but I think it's better than the Chargers. So, again, they're going to be keyed up to play another really strong defensive team here. They're going to need to, again, not turn the ball over, even though I said Denver needed to cause turnovers. They can't give up a lot of sacks. They're going to have to play very patient. I think the defense is going to need to step up as well. They can't just assume because you're facing a backup quarterback you're going to win. Denver's going to play hard. It's not going to be easy. It's probably going to be really cold in Denver. Maybe that could be an equalizer. Yeah, I know it's cold in New England too, but it's a different type. You're in altitude. It's an entire thing. So overall, I would really like to pick Denver as much as I would love to, but right now New England's healthier. They've got their starting quarterback. Drake May is probably going to play just enough to get New England over the top. I like the Patriots in a close one here.
It began as a friendly game. Then it took on a life of its own, changing the way you look at football and beer. But if you think you've seen everything, just wait. You haven't. Grab a ticket wherever you buy Budweiser, Bud Light, and Bud Dry. You could win $1 million. Bud Bowl 6. It's gonna blow you away.
Carrie Novak won't waste a minute battling her cold. Pills take time to dissolve, so she'll rush relief with the effervescent power of Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. It's ready the moment you take it, rushing powerful medicines to soothe your aches, relieve your runny nose, free your breathing.
Okay, now, today I'd like to talk to you about adding color and texture.
Nothing rushes relief like Alka-Seltzer Plus.
New Palmolive antibacterial is like nothing else.
It gets germs off hands.
And grease off dishes.
And we really love that antibacterial color.
A lot.
New Palmolive antibacterial. The anti-germ Palmolive.
I got a problem.
Poor baby.
Yeah, watch.
Well, I've got a solution.
Country Crock spreadable sticks.
Yeah, they spread easy, straight from the fridge.
Very spreadable.
Very edible.
Country Crock spreadable sticks. Spread easy, straight from the fridge.
And now it's the NFC Championship game between the LA Rams and Seattle. We have two divisional rivals meeting to play in another division rival's stadium in a couple of weeks. Again, the Seattle Seahawks completely dominated the 49ers. It was not even close. I mean, I don't think it was ever really close. I think they played just a near-perfect game there. The defense fired on all cylinders. Obviously, the offense did well. Kenneth Walker III had 3 touchdowns. I do think if there's a main concern, Zach Charbonnet, who is a major part of their running game, got injured. He's out for the rest of the playoffs. They're going to have to lean more on Kenneth Walker III. I don't know if they necessarily have another running back to step up and, fill Charbonnet's place and, give Walker a breather. So, again, that's probably going to put a little bit more on that. That means Sam Darnold's probably going to need to throw the ball a little bit more. He's got to not make as many mistakes. When they played the Rams the last 2 times, he's had turnover problems. They beat them the last time they were in Seattle, but that was thanks mainly to a fluky 2-point conversion and an onside kick. So, that's not necessarily set in stone here. As for the Rams, their offense has been really hit and miss this whole playoff campaign. The Panthers and Bears both had really strong defensive games against them. Yeah, they gave up a couple touchdowns here and there, but again, they needed a last second touchdown to beat the Panthers. And, again, the Bears game went to overtime. Seattle's defense is better than both of those teams, so that's going to make this a real threat here. And like I said, they put up big numbers in their 2 previous matchups against the Seahawks, but again, you got to try to do that, and they're not really doing that right now. And, Seattle is playing at home, and you know how dangerous Lumen Field can be when the Seahawks do well. If there's any big plays given up by the Rams' defense, that's going to put them in a dangerous hole. And overall, I think Seattle's defense is just too strong. I think their offense can do just enough here. I like Seattle to win this one and move on to the Super Bowl. Okay, so again, the next segment is going to be talking about the NFL coaching carousel and how everything's filling out there, and then we'll wrap things up. And no, I'm not doing this because I accidentally set up too many commercial breaks.
Nell, nominated for 3 Golden Globe Awards, including Best Picture and Best Actress Jodie Foster.
You remember that?
Share the gift of innocence. Nell, rated PG-13, now playing at theaters everywhere.
For those with painful mouth sores, we offer pizza without punishment, orange juice without agony, pleasure without pain. Since we offer the most mouth sore pain reliever you can get, maximum strength Orajel Mouth Aid, now in liquid or gel.
Your first chance is your best chance to teach your toddler good eating habits. With Sesame Street Pasta. It has no MSG or preservatives and less fat or sodium than many grown-up foods. Start your toddler with good-tasting, nutritiously prepared Sesame Street Pasta. Good food is good health.
What's gotten into you?
Sesame Street Pasta. Brought to you by Chef Boyardee and the letters M-O-M.
You used to have to drag a shampooer home to clean high-traffic areas and do the whole carpet with all the hassle, the wetness, the waiting. Today, there's Resolve high-traffic carpet cleaning granules. Just shake on, brush in. Sponge-like granules absorb the dirt. Later, vacuum clean. Resolve high-traffic carpet cleaner.
Okay, so obviously last week we had a whole bunch of coaches getting fired in a very short amount of time. Mike Tomlin stepped down. I guess you want to include that as well, obviously. I lost count. I wanted to say it was 10, but maybe it was 9 or possibly 11. Well, one more who wound up joining them on Monday as the Bills fired Sean McDermott. It's kind of understandable. I think McDermott is a good coach. He should be able to get another job, but again, you look at what happened in Buffalo. How many years did it look like they were going to go to the Super Bowl? And, they just ran up against the Chiefs. They lost. It just kept falling apart. They lost to the Bengals that one year, the DeMar Hamlin year. They lost to the Chiefs at home. They lost to the Chiefs on the road. It doesn't help. And, again, this year, it looked like things were setting up for them again. The Chiefs weren't even in the playoffs. This was probably the year they could have done it. And then they lost to Denver. And remember, I know I picked Denver. But yeah, again, if you were to look at this on paper, you would say, yeah, this is obviously meant to be the Bills' year. So, again, it's kind of understandable. What isn't understandable, however, is that the team promoted their general manager instead of, also firing him and trying to maybe overhaul the team a little bit. At least get some better player personnel in, because this guy, Brandon Beane, is, not doing exactly like... He's the guy who's brought in a lot of the free agent flops. He did trade for Stephon Diggs, who was about the only one that really worked out, and eventually that bridge got burned. Keon Coleman did not pan out as draft pick. I do think what they did at that press conference was a little bad, but still, again, you see the problems there, and you just you can't be doing things like that and expecting this to really work as well. So yeah, again, they probably should have fired Bean. Hopefully he can rectify this with a decent coaching hire, and we can actually set up a decent team here, because I think, Josh Allen's now on the cusp of exiting his prime, and yeah, you're really going to be in trouble after that. Now, on the plus side, we have had several of the vacancies filled. Obviously, the first and foremost is that John Harbaugh signed with the New York Giants. So he went from coaching the Ravens to coaching the Giants. This is a good hire. The Giants need stability right now. Harbaugh can bring stability. Hopefully, he can teach Jackson Dart to slide so he doesn't get hit. He can beef up the run game. I think he'll do okay. I'm not going to put the Giants in the Super Bowl by any stretch of the imagination, but I think Harbaugh will do well there. Likewise, the Atlanta Falcons hired Kevin Stefanski to be their head coach. Again, I think this is a good move. The Falcons, I think, need an offensive mind. He's an offensive-minded coach. Again, he's got to help Michael Penix. I think he's got a relationship with Kirk Cousins if you want to keep Cousins as a backup, so that should work out. I know he'll get the ball to Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts and Drake London. So, yeah, the defense is okay if they keep Ulbrich to be the defensive coordinator. So, again, I think this is a good move. Stefanski was a good coach in Cleveland. He got them to the playoffs 2 times. So, yeah, he's a better coach than people really give him credit for. The Tennessee Titans hired Robert Saleh, and I'm not necessarily against this. I do think he's an okay coach, but you're really going to have to be careful. We don't want to repeat what happened in New York. And there were times he had good teams in New York, and they just kind of fell apart. So, again, I think if he can bring in a good offensive mind to help Cam Ward, this could work out. And now we get to the candidates hired that I kind of have a few questions about. First and foremost is Jeff Hafley by the Miami Dolphins. They're in a complete rebuild, so if he is a good coach, I hope he gets a chance. I hope they don't just dump him after 2 years because they struggle, because they're setting up to struggle for a couple of years. So if you're going to invest, you got to invest long term in him. And then, right as I was writing all this down, news broke that Jesse Minter was hired by the Baltimore Ravens. Minter is the defensive coordinator from the Chargers, so I don't know if this really helps their problems, because a lot of their problems are on offense. Like, I know their defense was kind of questionable this year, but they got banged up. The problem is, Lamar Jackson is you're single-handedly carrying your team. I know they have Derrick Henry, but when you call on him to pass, he's throwing to tight ends all the time. You get these wide receivers, they do nothing. You don't work a passing game in at all, and you keep running into the same problems. Is this guy going to bring in an offensive mind to help open up the offense or not? And that's the question I have there. I think they should have gone for an offensive-minded coach, not a defensive-minded one. And that leaves us with the Steelers, Bills, Cardinals, Browns, and Raiders as the remaining coaching vacancies. And I really have no idea. The only one I feel fairly safe on is I'm pretty sure the Bills are going to get either Brian Daboll or Joe Brady. They have a previous relationship with Allen. I know Davis Webb, who's the quarterback coach in Denver, also has a relationship with Allen, but I don't think they're going to hire him. I think they're going to go probably Daboll. At least that's what all the reports seem to be indicating right now. As for the others, I have no idea. I mean, the Chiefs think Matt Nagy is going somewhere because they brought back Eric Bieniemy to be their offensive coordinator. It looked like Nagy was probably going to go to the Titans, but that job obviously went to Saleh. So I'm guessing maybe the Browns. I don't think the Steelers are going to hire him. So, like I said, I have no idea there. And, of course, there were some coordinator hires as well. Former Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel got hired by the Chargers as their offensive coordinator. I think this is a really good move. Again, the Dolphins actually had a pretty good running game over the past few years. I don't think people have realized that. You had Devin Achane. So, Harbaugh wants to run the ball. McDaniel can coach a run game. He can open up the offense just enough for Justin Herbert to flourish. I think they'll be all right. And the Cowboys fired Matt Eberflus, their defensive coordinator, and brought in the Eagles' defensive back coach, Christian Parker, to be their new defensive coordinator. He can't be as bad as Eberflus was last year, so hopefully that gets everything going there. All right, we'll wrap things up after the break here.
As a little girl, whenever I got sick, my mom always brought me a bowl of chicken soup. Today, when my daughter gets sick, I can give her something more nutritious, Pediasure.
Ask your pediatrician. Great-tasting Pediasure provides more complete, balanced nutrition than old-fashioned home remedies like chicken soup, milkshakes, or gelatin.
I hate it when she gets sick. At least I can be sure she's getting the nutrition she needs with Pediasure.
When stubborn dirt brings you to your knees, stop all that scrubbing. Get new Ultra Mr. Clean. On greasy dirt, he beats this regular cleaner. So let him help you off your knees. Try new Ultra Mr. Clean and Mr. Clean it to the Ultra Shine.
Could your natural hair color use a boost? Casting Tone-on-Tone Colorant from L'Oreal.
It doesn't just color.
It adds shine, and casting blends away first grays. Simple, low peroxide.
You'll love how it lasts.
Casting from L'Oreal.
We asked people, which cough syrup coats better?
Look how watery that is. This one coats more.
It's Vicks 44.
This is 44?
Compared to the other major syrup, Vicks 44 coats better and feels better going down. But the reason it stops more coughs is that it has 50% more cough suppressant.
So 44 is better at stopping coughs?
I'll try it.
Vicks 44, the stops more coughs cough medicine.
Driven by passion.
I'm gonna do anything it takes to keep Julia safe from Louis.
Consumed with rage.
You're out of control.
Pushed to the edge.
I'm gonna be wherever you go. You so much as look at her again, I will kill you!
Can Noah stop Louis? Find out this week on All My Children on ABC.
She's about to lose the love of her life.
It won't be long now.
Only her father's wisdom can give her strength.
There's many different kinds of courage.
Only her mother's touch can bring her comfort.
I'm here for you. Always.
Robin gets a special visit from Robert and Anna on General Hospital.
Okay, so to wrap things up, I like New England over Denver, and I like Seattle over the Los Angeles Rams. Only 2 games, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so the next video is going to be the I'm Sure of It video for Super Bowl 60. We'll then have the Super Bowl 60 prediction video, and then in all likelihood it's going to be the random trade review on Cyborg Unplugged. See you all next time. Hey guys, remember that you can support my work at patreon.com/sleepytimeforcat productions, or just click the link in the description. Also, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you can be made aware of further videos.